this is lesson 4 in the series on bar chords. So in lesson 3 we learned G bar chords, which with G bar chords you're strumming all the strings and the root note appears on the 6th string. So we call them, that would be a G minor on the root, with the root on the 6th. Okay, because the root note is on the thickest string. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take another chord and expand it. So in the last lesson everything was applied to, everything stemmed from the understanding of the E minor chord and the fact that that's movable. So that's an E minor chord, that's a G minor chord, that's an A minor chord, that's an F sharp minor chord. It's the same shape just in a different place. That's the fundamentals of bar chords, and that's the beauty and the power of them as well. If you can play them in different places they become very powerful. And we cut our learning in 12 because we can move everything about, and there's 12 frets on the guitar, there's 12 notes in music. So once we've done that, it's really powerful. So you've learned, if you understand the lesson on playing all the notes on the guitar, if you understand that lesson, you don't have to learn all the notes on the guitar, but in the lesson there's a method for working them all out. So if somebody asks you to play a certain chord, you might not know what it is, but I'm hoping to give you the tools to be able to work out the chord, and that will lead you to be able to do it automatically within time. I didn't learn all the notes on the guitar, I just sort of something that comes to you with a little bit of work, but also in practice. If you constantly have to work them out. So if I'm trying to work out a G sharp minor 7 chord, I think that's a G minor, that's a G minor 7. I don't want a G minor 7, I want a G sharp minor 7, so it's there. So it just becomes second nature. It's second nature to me, so hopefully it'll become second nature to you as well. So watch that video in conjunction with this one. So now I'm going to talk about the A minor chord. Okay, so that's the A minor chord there. Okay, so the root note you're playing is on the 5th string, and that note is A, making the chord an A minor chord. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is if you move the bar, bring the bar in, and if you play that note there, that note there, and that note there, that is the same shape as the A minor, but the bar has taken the place of the nut. So this bit here is now moved to there. We've moved the nut with our first finger or our bar. So that chord there is a minor chord. So the name of the minor chord is whatever note that is, because we're not playing the thickest string, we're only playing 5 strings. In fact, better actually if you only play 4 strings. Just play the inside 4 strings for these ones. So that's a C minor chord, because that note there is a C. So that's a C minor, it's the first chord. Then if you take off your pinky, you get a C minor 7 chord. So you've got C minor, you've got C minor 7. If you add your pinky in there, which is a G just below the 3rd finger but not on, it's on the 2nd string as opposed to the 3rd string, so looks like that. Okay, so there. So that's a C7, and then this chord here, so you've got 1, 2, 3, that chord there is just a C chord. So you notice that the 1, 2, 3, those fingers are all in the same fret. So how I play that is I would play it with a bar as well. So with that chord there, your bar is with your third finger. There's two ways you can play that one. You can do it that way or that way. I tend to find that way is easier. It takes more power and more strength, but it's easier to move that one, which is what we're trying to do. Okay, so just run through the chords again. You've got your C minor chord, looks like that. You've got your C minor 7 where you take off your pinky. You've got your C7 where you add your pinky on the second string on the same fret as the third finger. And then you've got just your normal C there. And again, you're always only strumming the 4 strings. The inside 4, you're not strumming the thickest one or the thinnest one. So those are 4 more chords that we've learned. Now, as with the last 4, it's very important that you understand how to move the chords about. So again, it's just releasing the pressure, don't take them off, just move them up, move them down. So you can place those 4 chords anywhere on the guitar and they take on the name of the root note that you're playing them on. So that chord there, because that note there is a D note, that chord is some kind of D. So the point I'm making here, I hope you understand, is the chord's got 2 parts to its name. So for example, an A minor 7 chord, the A is the note and the minor 7 is the type of chord. So it's the type of chord and the note. The name's split up into 2. An E minor 7, the note is the E and the family is the minor 7. Okay, so the family is dictated by the shape and the chord is dictated by the root note. So just to be clear on that, I hope you understand that because that's very powerful if you do. So the note tells you where the chord is and the shape tells you what family it is. And again, just practice moving those shapes about. You can move them anywhere. Just get used to moving the shapes about. And that's another 48 chords that you've learned. So if you've understood the Barre chord lessons, that's 96 chords we've learned. And learned them very quickly, and it's really an efficient way to learn. If you understand something, then you can apply it in different areas as opposed to just learning 2 chords. If you learn 2 chords, and what we did in these lessons was we learned 8 chords and we learned how to understand them and reapply what we understand in a different place, and it became huge. It became 96 chords. So hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions on the lesson, just leave a comment below or send me an email or whatever. I'll try and clear it up if there's anything you don't understand. So this lesson was lesson 4 on Barre chords.